Mom and Dad, I understand that you are iffy about sending me back to Paris to study in the fall semester. Sending your only daughter halfway across the world to a foreign country for 4 months doesn't sound like every parent's dream. Trust me, I get it, and I don't blame you. However, there are plenty benefits to going away, and I can assure you that the positives outweigh the negatives. To start, going abroad to Paris exposes me to a ton of different cultural norms. One major cultural difference between the United States and France that I noticed was their overall relaxed attitude during the workday. In a large, bustling area like New York City, most do not even have the time to stop their day for a proper lunch. The average working New Yorker replaces a sandwich with a shot of espresso. Trust me, I have experienced it firsthand. When working the accessory circuit and intermezzo trade shows, all of the women I was working with substituted a balanced meal for a handful of almonds. In Paris, it was very strange to see a group of working men and women take time out of their day to sit and relax and have a proper meal. And to my surprise, these same men and women were even drinking wine with their meals. In America, working men and women taking time out of their busy schedules to stop and have a cocktail is absolutely unheard of and actually a tad inappropriate. I originally thought that Paris is very comparable to New York City because they are both large cities with very urban environments. So it was surprising along with refreshing to see that Parisians choose to take time out of a busy workday to relax and de-stress. Definitely more appealing than the handful of almonds and an espresso shot that the typical New York City worker chooses as lunch. I think studying abroad will teach me to appreciate the value of what unwinding can do for me amidst the stress of a heavy workload and school. Studying abroad in a foreign country teaches me that patience is a virtue. While shopping at a little boutique called Jenna Rose, the sales associate did not speak a word of English. I wanted to know if they happened to have a shirt in my size. It was obvious that the sales associate was getting frustrated at our language barrier. Thankfully, after a few minutes of hand motions and smiling, we were able to figure it out, and I was able to try the shirt on in my correct size. I learned that with some patience, communication with the strong language barrier is absolutely possible. Unfortunately, I didn't get to purchase the shirt. A shirt worth a week's worth of food from G20 really wasn't in my budget. I found the visit to the Lesage Embroidery House the most interesting. It was incredible to see the work that the embroiderers put all their time into. Embroidery is something that I have never put much thought into. I had always assumed that the embroidery on a garment was actually completed by the designers themselves. I was surprised to learn that designers, specifically the ones at large luxury brands, send their designs to Lesage for all the embroidery work to be done. Once completed, Lesage then sends back the embroidered pieces back to the designers to be made into garments. Some of their most famous clients are Chanel and Oscar de la Renta. Unfortunately, a job in the embroidering industry isn't really for me. The teacher had to finish my embroider for me. I wasn't that good at it. As a fashion student, it is absolutely imperative for me to go away and experience different trends around the world. Contrary to popular belief, Paris fashion is much more casual than one would think. They have replaced the stereotypical red lip and red bottom heel with comfy sneaks and a natural face. Although in America, this look could be considered sloppy, Parisians make it look totally chic. In my opinion, I believe they dress in this casual manner because they have come to the realization that a full face of makeup and stilettos is just not realistic for the everyday big city working woman and student. After living in Paris for 2 weeks, I even bought myself my own pair of French sneakers. I can only imagine at what I'll be wearing after hopefully living there for 4 months. My ultimate goal would be that I get mistaken for an authentic Parisian. Before traveling to Paris, I was very nervous that I would not be welcomed into the country. It's rumored that the French, along with the rest of Europe, aren't too fond with Americans. I mean, who could blame them? For being honest here, we don't always give ourselves the best reputation. Thankfully, the stereotype of the French hating Americans could not have been further from the truth. I was very pleased with how friendly and welcoming all of the French were towards us. It was heartwarming that most Parisians that we interacted with tried their best to speak English and communicate with us. One lady noticed that we were all confused while looking at the map on the metro. She approached us and then proceeded to give us the proper directions to where we wanted to go. Another kind woman even approached Blair while riding the metro, warning her of pickpockets and for her to keep her bag safe. The kindness of these foreign strangers really didn't make them seem so foreign at all. Their kindness really made our large world feel much smaller and that we are much more similar than meets the eye. Lastly, I think that studying in Paris would be most beneficial in regards to my future career in the fashion industry. Being able to say that I studied fashion at the #1 fashion capital of the world before the age of 21 is not something most aspiring fashion job applicants can say. Studying fashion business at Modsbay will definitely give me a leg up over any future competition. I strongly believe that studying abroad in Paris, France for the fall 2016 semester will be money well spent. I can learn how to de-stress with midday lunch breaks. I will learn how to be much more patient with others. I will take some classes at Lesage, so hopefully a job in embroidery will be in my future. I will learn to embrace the different European fashion trends. And last, but certainly not least, I will be able to meet a tremendous amount of new people and hopefully make new friendships that could last a lifetime. So, Mom and Dad, my amazing parents that I love oh so much, I hope I have convinced you that sending your amazing daughter that you love so much to Paris next fall is an absolute must. Bisous, bisous, Bianca.